We passed a bend in the lane and saw the white Mini over on the side in front of a gate leading into a field, tyres sunk deep in the brown mud. We drove past it, parked on the grass verge. The policeman let me out and the three of us walked over to the Mini while the policeman told my dad about crime in this area and why it was obviously the local kids had done it. Then my dad was opening the passenger side door with his spare key. He said, "Someone left something on the back seat." My father reached back and pulled the blue blanket away that covered the thing in the back seat, even as the policeman was telling him that he shouldn't do that, and I was staring at the back seat because that was where my comic was. So I saw it. It was an it, the thing I was looking at, not a him. Although I was an imaginative child, prone to nightmares, I had persuaded my parents to take me to Madame Tussauds Waxworks in London when I was 6 because I'd wanted to visit the Chamber of Horrors, expecting the movie monster Chambers of Horrors I'd read about in my comics. I'd wanted to thrill to waxworks of Dracula and Frankenstein's monster and the Wolfman. Instead, I was walked through a seemingly endless sequence of dioramas of unremarkable, glum-looking men and women who had murdered people, usually lodgers and members of their own families, and who were then murdered in their turn by hanging, by the electric chair, in gas chambers. Most of them were depicted with their victims in awkward social situations, seated round a dinner table, perhaps, as their poisoned family members expired. The plaques that explained who they were also told me that the majority of them had murdered their families and sold the bodies to anatomy. It was then that the word anatomy garnered its own edge of horror for me. I did not know what anatomy was. I knew only that anatomy made people kill their children. The only thing that had kept me running screaming from the Chamber of Horrors as I was led around it was that none of the waxworks had looked fully convincing. They could not look truly dead because they did not ever look alive. The thing in the back seat that had been covered by the blue blanket, I knew that blanket. It was the one that had been in my old bedroom on the shelf for when it got cold, was not convincing either. It looked a little like the opal miner, but it was dressed in a black suit with a white ruffled shirt and a black bow tie. Its hair was slicked back and artificially shiny. Its eyes were staring, its lips were bluish, but its skin was very red. It looked like a parody of health. There was no gold chain around its neck. I could see, underneath it, crumpled and bent, my copy of Smash, with Batman looking just as he did on the television, on the cover.